Hello everyone, FPL Raptor here and welcome back to another Fantasy Football Fix daily price change prediction video. We come to you every single evening from the Fantasy Football Fix studios to bring you the latest with respect to potential price rises and potential price falls. Now just a reminder, I myself am on weekend duty and at the weekends there's a lot of transfer activity happening, and as such the predicted price falls and price rises might be slightly different than the time I'm recording this and when it goes live. So the best way to get around that is to always check price predictions for yourselves, and you can do that by heading over to the Fantasy Football Fix website or by downloading the free app and enabling push notifications. So do stay up to date yourselves, stay informed, but without further ado, let's get into the video. So we will be starting with the man on the thumbnail, HeungMin Son. He was essentially ruled out this weekend by Nuno in the press conference, but it wasn't completely definitive. But I think most managers took him out as a result, and that's why he's so close to a price fall, and he's almost definitely going to fall in price tonight. At the time of recording this, he's at around 172% progress, and he's falling at 5.5% per hour. So he might even be over like minus 200% by the time this evening comes around. So I'd be very, very shocked if Son doesn't fall in price tonight. Now, many of these transfers might be on wildcard, and remember, wildcard transfers don't count towards price changes, but I still would be very, very shocked if HeungMin Son doesn't fall tonight. Despite getting 2 goals in the first 3 game weeks, his underlying statistics have actually been incredibly poor considering how good they normally are. If we take a look at his touch map and the underlying statistics as well, he's actually got an XG of 0.23 per 90. So that's a total XG of around 0.69. So he's got 2 goals from an XG of 0.69. He's not performing that well. He's overperforming, which we know he does in the past because he's got fantastic finishing. But his expected assist per 90 is 0.003, which has been even worse than he normally is. He's normally pretty creative alongside Harry Kane. So he's been disappointing so far. He's been lucky to get the 2 goals. Tottenham's fixtures coming up aren't that great anyway, and he could be potentially injured for a long time. I think if you own Son and you haven't sold him already, I think probably tonight's the night to do it. If you want to just take the price fall on the chin and you want to get more information, that's fair enough, absolutely. But for me, if I own Son, I'd be selling him tonight probably. Now, this next section is actually a little bit different because we're not looking at a player, we're actually looking at a team, and that team is Aston Villa. And I'm recording this during the Chelsea-Aston Villa game, and as I just started recording this clip, Romelu Lukaku has just scored against Aston Villa. So I think this is going to just rubber stamp what we're seeing here already with the price change activity. So at the time of recording this, which again is during the game, they have as many as 5 players predicted to fall in price, as they're all over 100% or over minus 100% past that threshold. And those are Bailey, Traore, Konsa, Buendia and Emi Martinez. So those 5 players are all predicted to fall in price tonight at the time of recording. And if you take a look at Villa's fixtures coming up, there is no real surprise that they're being sold by the masses. They've got Everton, Manchester United, Tottenham and Wolves in the next 4, and I don't think any of those 4 fixtures are particularly appetising. Now, interestingly, the most owned Villa player, Danny Ings, will probably survive for the next few days. He's not being sold by that many managers at the time of recording. So I think with Antonio's red card earlier today, which we're going to get onto in a minute, I think you may wish to keep Danny Ings potentially for the Everton fixture if you own him already. So I don't think he's necessarily an immediate transfer out that you need to make. But Aston Villa as a team look like they've got lots of players falling in price. So if you own a Villa asset, head over to the site this evening to just make sure, and if you're looking to sell them, tonight might be the night to do so. So this next player I'm not going to discuss in too much detail because we actually discussed him in yesterday's video in quite a lot of detail, and that man is Diogo Jota, who we were pretty certain was actually gonna rise in price, but he didn't. And now the main reason that he probably didn't rise in price is, again, because there's a lot of wildcards in play and wildcard transfers don't count towards price changes. It was probably there was just a slight miscalculation with respect to how many of those people bringing in Jota were on wildcard and weren't. Because if most of those people bringing in Jota were on their wildcard, then those transfers wouldn't have counted. However, that being said, we're pretty certain he's going to rise tonight, considering he didn't rise yesterday. He's at around 144% progress at the time of recording. Remember, they have to exceed 100% progress to be predicted to rise in price. So, in my personal opinion, Jota will rise in price tonight. And if we take a look at his touch map, it is very obvious why people are bringing in Jota. He's playing at that false 9 position, or essentially as a striker. And yes, we've known Jota's underlying statistics and positioning has been fantastic for a while. The main concern we've always had is whether he's going to start and how long he's going to play for. Now, the latest news is that Firmino is out, but we don't know how long Firmino's out for. If Firmino's out for like 3, 4, 5, even longer, than that game weeks, then I think Jota's essentially one of the best players in the game at that price. His statistics keep up with the premiums, and if he's going to start every game and potentially play 90 minutes in those games up front for Liverpool with their fixtures coming up, I think Diogo Jota is almost a no-brainer. So he looks like he's going to rise in price tonight. If you want Jota and you don't want to miss out on that £0.1 million rise, I would bring him in this evening. Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm a very smug Manchester United fan to start, but also captainer of Cristiano Ronaldo this week. So I'm feeling very positive after the 4-1 win and Ronaldo's brace. Now, I did sell Bruno Fernandes as part of that, so a little bit gutted that Bruno scored. But anyway, feeling very positive. And if you haven't been keeping up to date with price changes and you want a bit of information about why Ronaldo hasn't risen in price already, when players first join the game, they are locked in price for 8 days. And if it's during an international break, such as what happened with Ronaldo when he was introduced to the game, they're locked until the start of the new game week. So we knew Ronaldo wouldn't rise in price until at least game week 4 deadline passed. Now, after he's then released into the game and he's no longer locked in price, the transfers start at 0. So it doesn't matter that he's been brought in by 2 million managers before he was unlocked. It's how many transfers are made after he's unlocked. So he starts at 0. But that being said, managers are still bringing him in by the masses. And he looks like he might actually rise in price tonight, despite the fact that he's only just been unlocked and it's only going to start at 0. So at the time of recording this, he's already at 88.9% progress. And he's rising at 39.4% progress per hour. So if he continues to be brought in by that many managers at that rate over the next few hours, he could genuinely rise in price tonight. Now, I've still got a sneaky suspicion it could be tomorrow night because I think a lot of people might have activated their wildcard already. It might be difficult to gauge how many of those are actually effective transfers. So it could still be tomorrow night, in which case we'll discuss him in tomorrow's video as well. But it could genuinely be tonight, which is absolutely crazy considering he started at 0. If we have a look at his touch map, he actually played quite an interesting role in the game. He was dropping a little bit deeper than we potentially thought. He was dropping out to the left as well. And Bruno was making those runs in behind. And Bruno was almost playing as like a false 9 at points. But he still got the 2 goals. He showed what he was all about with both of the goals. And listen, it is Cristiano Ronaldo. And if you don't own him already, I think his price will just continue to skyrocket. We could be looking at a 13 million pound Ronaldo by the end of sort of game week 6, game week 7. So if you want to jump on the Ronaldo bandwagon, I would be doing that as soon as possible because we could see potentially a double rise this week, maybe even triple if people continue to bring him in at this rate. So do keep an eye on it this evening. After you watch this video, go onto the website and take a look for yourself because it could be potentially that he's well over 100% by the time the price changes happen this evening. In other news, as we've spoken about a little bit previously in the video, Antonio did get sent off in the Southampton game, annoyingly in the 95th minute. Now, it was 2 yellow cards as opposed to a straight red, and therefore he's only going to be banned for 1 match, and that game's against Manchester United anyway. So you could potentially just stomach that bench in, and you could just, that red card, sorry, and you could just put him on the bench because he was going to play against Manchester United anyway, and then you could have him for game week 6, 7, 8. Which is definitely a potential option. At the time of recording this, he's around minus 9% progress. So he's nowhere near minus 100%, but he's falling at 13.6% per hour because of the sending off. People are just transferring him out straight away. So keep an eye on it this evening. I've got a feeling Antonio will probably fall in price tomorrow evening, but it could potentially be tonight as well. Just a reminder, if you bought Antonio for 7.5 million, he's now 8 million. Therefore, if he falls to 7.9, you still sell him for 7.7. So you can essentially stomach that £0.1 million drop will not affect the price you sell him for if you bought him at either 7.5 million or 7.7 million. Because remember, you gain 0.1 for every 0.2 they go up. So if you bought Antonio for 7.5 or 7.7, you don't need to worry about the potential 0.1 million price fall. So do bear that in mind. Absolutely worth keeping in mind. But yes, so Ronaldo could potentially rise in price despite not looking like it at the start of the day. And Antonio could potentially fall in price again despite not looking like it at the start of the day. So definitely keep an eye on those 2 players this evening. So guys, there you have it. Those are the predicted price rises and price falls for this evening. Just a reminder, as I said at the start, over the weekend it is extremely difficult to predict price rises early on in the day because so much transfer activity is happening and people are responding to the different games. So do stay up to date yourself by heading to our website or by downloading our free app. And also just another reminder that price changes are not an exact science. They are a prediction based on an algorithm. And due to a lot of wildcards being in play at the moment, it is even more difficult to try and predict which of those transfers are effective because remember, wildcard transfers do not count towards predicted price rises and towards price rises and price falls. So thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying the content here on the Fantasy Football Fix channel, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so that you know when our videos go live every single evening. But I'll catch you in tomorrow's video for exactly the same tomorrow evening. Thank you very much, guys. Catch you soon.